Van Phone-In Show. The Villa Van Phone-In Show. The Villa Van Phone-In Show. The Villa Van Phone-In Show.
I get some laugh off that. Welcome everybody to the Villa Event 4-inch show for the Love of Bombgraph podcast, episode 1. I have no idea how this is going to go today. I have no. This could be a giddy one. I think if nothing else, this could be an absolute giddy one. Paddy, first of all, can you hear me? I do feel a bit like Chris Kamara because I have to wear these cans because the system that the calls will be coming through here. So.
I can hear you loud and clear, Neil.
You got me loud and clear. Perfect. So, I can give a shout out. So, Michael Huggins is asking me, can I give a shout out to Abrima Sonko from Gambia? I absolutely can. Hello, Abrima. How are you doing? And thank you for flying the flag down in Gambia, for sure. So, this is a maiden voyage of something that you guys may not know. That when I first started this podcast in August 2019, it was originally going to be only a phone-in show. There was originally what it was going to be. It was going to be a call, like essentially people would call in. And then this man here to my right said, was listening to the podcast, was giving me encouragement. I was then giving up the podcast or whatever. I had a lot going on in my life at the time. And this guy then, I basically said, well, fine, then you have to come on all the time. And then Paddy came on. Then we dropped the whole phone-in thing. But I've had this kind of in my mind for basically since the podcast started, because there was nothing like it before. So don't know how this is going to go today, but just a couple of kind of, I won't say rules around it, but just to let you guys know that there won't be a kind of a switchboard system for this at the moment. Do have the capability to do it, but because it's hard enough to run a podcast on my own here, if I was lining up 6-7 different callers at the same time, it would be next to impossible at the moment. Now, it's something we can build to if in the future if this becomes super popular. But for the moment, what we will do is we will pop up a ticker on the bottom of the screen that will let you know when the line is open. Okay, and it's literally going to be like if you call in when the lines are open, you should, like, whoever's there will get through. And then obviously we'll talk to that person and we will pop on and, we will pop it up then again once the line is open. So we do want to get people to call in. We won't be able to queue up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people at the same time. We could, but unfortunately I'd just be here the whole time just trying to do that, answering calls here and queuing people up. And it just ain't going to happen for the first while with regards to this. So also just wanted to kind of say that when we're doing these shows, we want to try and keep it on topic as well if we can. Now, obviously, look, we're up here for a laugh and a joke and everything. There's no, it's not going to be too serious from that point of view, but obviously we want to have some sort of topics that we want to discuss. And today's one, for the inaugural one, is going to be nice and handy, I suppose, because it's a handy one, Paddy, I think. But I'd like to get your view on it first before maybe we open up the lines to people to call in. And that is, if the squad was to stay as it is at the moment, how many incomings would we need? That's the question.
We know it's not going to stay as it is at the moment, obviously, because we've lost a couple of players as it is, so they need to be replaced. I think if it stayed as it is at the moment, we are going to need 4 players.
What positions do you think, Paddy?
I think it would be a striker, an attacking midfielder, a right back, and a goalkeeper.
I think that's pretty much a start. And the reason I asked this question, guys, as well, and we'll get into your thoughts as well when we get people on the call as well, is it's an interesting one as to why we need those positions, what type of players we'll be looking for in those positions, because I think what a lot of people it's assumed that we need certain types of players in certain positions. But it'd be interesting to see what other people think of that as well. So we'll get through that all in its own good time. So what I want to do as well, guys, is if you guys want to get involved, is what we will do, you get involved with this is you have to download the WhatsApp application. Most people will have that downloaded already. If you don't, go and download that as well. We won't accept calls from any other service. And the reason for that is because we want to keep this as fair to people being outside of the UK, or especially really, I suppose, outside of Ireland, because if people start calling us, you're going to get charged for it. So if we download the WhatsApp application, make sure you're on Wi-Fi and call us. You will not be charged regardless of where you call from within the world. The number to call us on there, it's +353 89 217 7440. So it's 08, so +353 89. Matty Cash, Madness, John McGinn is Rikanza 0. That's the cryptic way of doing the phone number. So you can pop that in there and save it. That number won't be changing as such. That's a virtual number that we'll be able to route stuff through. So essentially the number does route through. So I can turn that on and turn that off as needs be. Don't worry, it's not my personal number as well. So let's do that. Just a couple of rules. I have to make sure that when you come on, regardless of who you are, I have to ask you if you are over the age of 18. Okay, so no one get offended by that if I ask you if you are. And unfortunately, if you are under the age of 18, and I suspect that you're under the age of 18, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to end it and ask you maybe to call back in. That is just one little rule that we have to have here as well from consulting the powers that be with regards to these phone-in shows, specifically on YouTube as well. So they're just a couple of house rules where we just say WhatsApp only, keep it on topic, and you have to be over 18. And if we can all do that, we can all have a bit of crack together. Well, the idea for this is to do this probably monthly. It's probably to do it monthly, but as and when
it'll be more often than that if it's a success, because people will enjoy it.
As and when the topics are needed, I suppose, really. As and when the topics are needed. Like, put it this way, let's just say Emmy Martinez and Ollie Watkins both moved to Manchester United on the same day. You can be damn sure we'll be opening up the phone lines in that one to try and get people's opinion for stuff like that. So, but look, as I say, we will try and get this in. It's part of something that we want to try for the new year, and as well, yeah, we will. We'll keep trying to get these out as much as we possibly can, but it's not going to be like every week and stuff like that, as and when it dictates. Alrighty, do we understand? Everybody ready? Because in Vlad, they're using AI to make music is cringe. Unfortunately, it is, but it was a bit of crack. All right, bit of crack. And to be honest with you, actually, I made about 40% of it in a DJ app, and then I threw it into AI and it put the music singing over it. So give me a fucking break. Is what I'll say for that one. It was a bit of crack, if nothing else. So here we go. So guys, just to let you know, as I said, that the lines are, the number to call once again is this one. 089, sorry, +353 89 217 7440 is the number. So once you guys, I'll pop it up there on the screen because we are going to open up the phone lines in one moment there now. So you just get the comments. I'm even singing the made up song now. Right, are we all ready? Because if anybody wants to ring that line now, it should be open. Let me see. Let's see how this is going to work. We've got our first call. We actually have a call coming through here. Give me 1 second here now. Let's see how this is going to work. I have no idea who this is, by the way, but let me just try and route us through here. Hello, caller. Can we hear you on the line? Oh, we've got somebody out of voice disguiser.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear them either because I think there's some sort of, it sounds like there's some sort of distortion issue or something like that, or distortion on the device. I'm not 100% sure. If you want to give us a call back, sorry, I can't hear you. There's nothing coming through there. So give us a shout back. That's a bit anticlimactic for the very, very first call. sounded like there was.
I hope it's not a sign of things to come.
I hope it's not a sign of things to come. We've got another one coming through here, and actually, I'm going to be honest with you, it is popping here. So let's just try this. Fuck it. Oh no, that person has given up and isn't going. This could be absolute car crash because I can hear it buzzing here on my let's see. Completely no, there's nobody calling through now, which is great. Paddy, talk to me anyway. So with regards to, I suppose, business that's been done by Villa so far, we've sold Kane Kessler Hayden. We've also sold Kane Kessler Hayden. We've sold I know what the issue is. Can that guy who's ringing me through there's something. I think I know what the issue is there. Apologies. Give me 1 second. This worked. I wouldn't mind, but I've got people phoning into this all bloody day testing it, and it was working perfectly. So give me 1 second here, guys. Paddy, Ken Kessler Hayden and Louis Barry were, Ken Kessler Hayden was sold. Louis Barry looks like he's going to be sold. What do you make of the Ken Kessler Hayden fee and I suppose the team that he's gone to?
I'm okay with both. As far as I know, there's a buyback clause in there as well. Should he set the world on fire in the championship? So it's a win-win situation. He hasn't kicked on from what we thought we were getting. We know he has done really, really well in the championship. I hope it continues.
We have someone calling in, Paddy, and it's working this time. Sorry.
Yeah. I hope it does.
No, let's try this. Let's try this again. Oh no, they hung up. They hung up when they got through. Here we go. This person.
Neil, this is carnage.
I have him. This guy. This is the first we had on first time. Hello there. How are you? You are the very first caller to the For the Love of Pomegranate event footage. Oh. How are you?
I can't hear them.
I know it seemed to be an issue. It seemed to be an issue on my end. Can everybody hear the caller first of all?
I can't.
No one can.
I don't think anybody can.
For fuck's sake! What a disaster! When I record this through, it's like I can hear it on every end here. Now, what a disaster! Anyway, okay. This is fuck. I wouldn't mind, but I tested this all yesterday and all day today, and it was working perfectly. There we go. We've got more people coming through. Yeah, this is brilliant, isn't it? This is brilliant podcasting. Brilliant podcasting. Yeah, please do. I'm going to decline everybody there. Okay, so lines are now not open while I figure out what is going on here. This could be the shortest lived thing ever on the For the Love of Pomegranate podcast because that's interesting. No,
it might be interesting for you, but not for everybody else.
Well, I think the gas thing is I can see everything is coming through here, but why isn't it being routed? Wait a minute. No. Yeah, it should see everything there. Why won't it come through is my next question. This is interesting. This is interesting. Matthew, how are you? Was that you, Matthew? I met Matthew recently. Yeah, so guys, I'm not 100% sure if this I'm not sure why it isn't coming through. I really am not sure why it isn't coming through. It should be. You guys should be able to hear it live, but it doesn't seem to be. Echo cancellation could be maybe that. I have no idea. Anyway, Paddy, Louis Barry, do you think he's going to be off? What do you think the deal is there with him, with it not being, I suppose, it being stalled and the fee not being agreed?
It's hard to tell. There's no immediate rush, I think, to get him out the door, given the figures that are being touted for him. So let it stew for a bit and let's not rush it. It's a strange one that it wasn't done straight away, considering everybody was saying it was done. But as you say, there was obviously some issue with the fee. So we'll reserve judgment till we hear any more. But I would imagine he's on his way out, judging by what we've heard.
Yeah, I think that he is somebody that's going to go, and look, I think the big one, Paddy, is that people seem to be surprised with the money that's been quoted for the two of them, and I think it's probably just a kind of a fallback from the point of view that yes, we did sell Aaron Ramsey and we did sell Cameron Archer and all those for inflated fees, and they did. My sound is dropping. Interesting.
I can barely hear you. I have to lean in to hear you here.
Oh, that is even more interesting. I have no idea what's going on with that.
Mark wants to know what's wrong with Joe Gauchi
maybe.
while you're having a fiddle there, and we'll see how we get on. Nothing wrong with Joe Gauchi. I just don't think
Well,
he's
having a
ready
fiddle.
yet, and I don't think the brains trust are trusting him just yet. But I think Joe Gauchi is probably one for the future, but I don't think he's going to be our backup at this stage.
Yeah. How about now? Is my sound okay now?
Yeah,
that
your
could
sound
be
is
something to-
perfect.
Sound
Yeah.
is okay now. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, guys. I have no idea why you guys can't hear it, because the way it's set up, you should be able to hear it. Everything is running through the PBX, and I have no idea why people cannot hear the other line.
Is the phone still ringing?
I've turned off the lines for the moment until I get it sorted, because it kept on ringing, and it rings in my headset, so I can't hear it. The first thing that comes up is like, call from 087, blah, blah. So it's I don't know. Sounds back. Okay. Can anybody hear this? Let's just see. Paddy is still loud. I don't know what happened there. Can anybody hear? So if I was to play, can anybody hear that noise, that boo noise on the that I just played there? No, you guys can barely hear me again. I think I know. No, I don't know. Well, we're going to stay here until we can try and fix it. This has been anticlimactic because I thought you guys could hear. When I was on the call there a moment ago, because I could hear it perfect. Yeah. So when you guys ring into Das Hale or any of those guys, or if you ever ring into any radio show, it's a lot easier than it's a lot more difficult just ringing in. I don't know. I can't hear. Pure Entertainment says, hey, you guys could hear the boo noise. Okay. All right. The boo noise is as it is. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea why you guys can't hear it. None whatsoever. I've done about 5 tests of this, even going live, and I'll definitely take the Dougal McGuire of the podcasting world for sure. Because it should work. It should work. Everything that we have here, but it obviously isn't. So I'm not sure what to do. Thomas said he tried the number there. It was Uber Eats. Dave is saying it's because I have earplugs. No, it's not. I don't think any of those are none of those are connected at the moment. So it's only it's not. Put in the plug, Neil. Yeah, it's this is not the greatest one. Have I tried?
Michael's daughter's on the floor. I'm going to be on the floor in a minute.
I know. Yeah.
We did test this yesterday while I was driving. I rang in.
I tested it with a group call with 14 people, so that I could load up 14 people on it, and we were able to record it. But you know what the gas thing is? I bet you when I go back and I replay this back again afterwards, you'll be able to hear that call. But you guys can't just hear it live. I think that's what the issue is. I don't know. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fix it on this either. So it's there's a big button here that says having issues, a question mark at the bottom of my screen. I can bloody tell you very well I'm having issues, but I don't know how to fix them is the question. Yeah, interesting.
Is that helping what Mick said?
Wrote the input your speakers. Yeah, I have it all routed to speakers. Yeah, coming through the chat, but it's unfortunately it's not. You guys can't seem to hear it, which is not ideal.
This is comedy gold now.
It is comedy gold. Yeah, it is. Creeder is asking, can I hear them? Yeah, I could absolutely hear them. No problem. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. Absolutely no problem. So I thought that you guys could hear it. That's the thing. So this is probably just going to turn into a test podcast for the rest of the day, for the rest of the night. So what I am actually going to do is I'm going to open up the line again just to see if I can get somebody to come through. Let's open it up again. If somebody wants to try and call there and be a guinea pig for a moment, let's see if we guys can get you on. Oh, Dearmid tried to ring. A couple of people were trying to ring it there while I had it turned off. But if somebody wants to try just one more, we'll see. Yeah, sound mix. I've got a big soundboard here in front of me. You know, I've got it routed through there as well. So I that's why I'm I could.
+44
There we go. That's something coming through here now. So
I can hear that. I can hear that.
You can hear that? Can everybody hear that? No. Can everybody hear? Can anyone hear anything now?
No.
Well, nobody said anything yet, Neil.
There you go.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah.
Paddy?
Yeah.
Can anybody else hear? You can hear it.
I can hear who?
Me.
I know that voice.
You can hear me. I think
You
I know
don't
that voice.
voice.
I do. I think I might know that voice. Hello, wait a minute. Hello, caller, and welcome to the Phil Event phone-in show. You are actually probably you're the first one that other people can hear on the show.
That's pressure then.
Massive pressure.
No pressure,
First of
Woody.
all,
No pressure.
Exactly, Mark. I need to ask you: are you over the age of 18?
I am just about over the age of 18. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, then we can continue. So, Mark, if the squad was to stay the same as it is right now, how many more incomings would you think we would need to be competitive?
Not wishing to start another argument with my wife, I think we need
You think we need 5?
5.
Yeah. What do you think? Where do you think those positions would be?
Right, I'm starting with goalkeeper because, as Paddy has said, Joe Gaethje isn't trusted. So therefore, we need a good backup keeper that's going to push, if Martinez is still here, somebody's going to push Martinez throughout the whole season, just going to sit on the bench waiting for him to get sent off.
Got to sit in the bench.
Mark, can I throw a name at you?
Go on then.
Hugo Lloris.
You didn't, Paddy, did
But
you?
you know what? That's not a bad call. That's not a bad call. It needs to be somebody with experience and European experience as well. We can't have this where we haven't got a goalkeeper that the defence trusts if they have to play. And that's the important thing.
Brilliant. You're strong. You're not afraid of being popular.
I've got a load of sound drops that people may or may not be able to hear as well, but I'm going to have a bit of crack with callers when they do come in. But yeah, so Mark, I think you're brilliant, you're strong, and you're not afraid of the controversial opinion. So
I'm not. I think it just needs to be somebody that the defence. If the number one goalkeeper chosen to be Aston Villa's number one goalkeeper, be it Martinez or whoever, if they're not playing, the defence needs to be able to the guy that comes in next. And I don't believe they trusted Olsen, and I think we've give goals away because they don't trust him, and we've made silly errors.
And so you're going down the route of an extremely experienced goalkeeper to come in and to be our backup goalkeeper, as opposed to bringing in, let's say, do you know who I had on the top of my head was maybe Thomas Kaminski from Luton. Now he's moved to Charlton, I think, yesterday, but that was somebody that I had potentially earmarked. He was very good in the Premier League, had a really good save ratio, and became a Belgian international. But you going down the route of, like Paddy said there, of Hugo Lloris being like somebody who's nearly 40 to be our backup goalkeeper?
it needs to be somebody who has European experience. Otherwise, why would we not use Joe Gaucho? He was brought in as an Australian squad member, and as Emma pointed out, he might not be starting for Australia, but if he's good enough to be in the squad, why are we not trusting him to be good enough to be our backup goalkeeper? So they must be thinking of somebody else. Gaucho must be out on loan again this season or whatever, but we need somebody that gives the defence confidence that they are going to do the same job as Villa's number one goalkeeper. That's who it has to be. Be they 40 or 35 or 20, they just need to have that experience, I think.
So James Wood has put a name in here. Said Sam Johnston. Would that be someone for you, Paddy? Do you think that would be somebody that would you take that as a good backup goalkeeper?
Take it as a backup goalkeeper on a free every day of the week. I think he might want to be first choice goalkeeper though. That's the only thing. And that I threw Hugo Lloris in there because he's at the back end of his contract in America. I think we'd get him really, really cheap, and I just think he would play a valuable experience, valuable backup experience to Emmy Martinez if he's still there.
What other positions, Mark, did you earmark there? Apologies. As I was feverishly hitting all the buttons I could possibly punch here beside me to try and get the thing working, I didn't quite hear what the other positions were that you wanted to strengthen.
We need, based on who's left us this season, i.e. on loan, we need a centre-half and possibly somebody who can play right back. Because I don't want to see Ezri Konsa at right back for Villa ever. He's too good at centre half, and it's a waste at right back. So we need somebody to come in at centre as a reserve centre half, shall we say?
Okay. Any particular names ring off the top of your mind?
You've just lost him again.
Muted me, Neil.
I haven't.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Well, I can't hear Neil.
That's interesting because
There you are. Now you're back.
I'm back.
No, I can hear you now. I'm used to being muted. It's always the same.
Yeah. Okay. No, that was interesting because because on the system here, the guys were saying that they were getting slapped back from the phone when I was talking. But so I was trying to mute it in that end, so I wasn't sure if it muted me. Great. This is perfect. It's going well so far.
So centre half.
Any particular centre halves you have in mind?
Do you know what? I'd have Diassi back. I thought Diassi was brilliant. 100%, I'd have him back.
Okay.
Emma's shouting from the other room, no, but I disagree.
Only if we play him at centre half and never as a right back again.
Yeah. No, this is the whole point. We don't need a centre half to cover right back. We have right backs to cover right back. I don't want to see Konsa and I don't want to see Diassi at right back. Not at all. They're coming in to cover centre half, and I know that Unai wants people to be able to play two positions, but no, your centre half is your centre half. In Unai we trust, except when he puts centre halves at right back.
Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at the comments here as well as we go through this, because it's saying that Paddy is echoing as well here. No, I'm not 100% sure why that is, how that is, but okay, it's something to work on as we go through. Apologies for the teething problems here, guys, but we will try and get this sorted, because I don't have Paddy coming through anything else other than what he normally comes through, so there shouldn't be an echo for Paddy there on that end. Paddy, do you want to just talk there? Actually, talk to me about who your preference would be. Like, what type of centre half do you think that we would need?
I'm not honestly not sure that we need a centre half, but I think there's more pressing positions that will need to be filled. I would like to sign somebody like we tried to sign at the beginning of last season in Lucherel Kertrode. I think he's available again. Loic Bade is available apparently. I don't know what that's going to cost. Who knows? Who knows what he has up his sleeve? But it wasn't one that was top of my list. It was more a case of I felt we need to get a right back, because I don't think he trusts Garcia just yet either.
What do you feel about right back, Mark? What type of right back are you looking for? You know, when Unai first came in, there was all this. We need the one fight type. You know, he has to be the centre half who plays at right back, and he has to be just bulletproof defensively. And we see that Unai is brought in. He's gone with Matty Cash. He's brought in Garcia. He's brought in Jelkovic. Different types of right backs. Where do you stand on the right back conundrum, Mark?
I think Nedeljkovic is so underrated. I think he's definitely somebody that has a potential, and we bought him 100%. We bought him to fulfil that potential. I think Matty Cash. I love Matty Cash. We all love Matty Cash. However, are we upgrading him by putting in a young, quick wingback who doesn't make the odd mistake that Matty Cash does? It's difficult. I know Paddy thinks we need a right back. I think we've got cover at right back. I'm more concerned at left back than right back, personally. I think that Luca Dean is on his way out, and we need to look at left back cover. But you know, you could get 20 people on here tonight, and they will all give you different areas that we need to look at, and everyone will have an opinion on it. Right back for me, I think we're fine. I think it's left back we need to look at. I think Luca Dean on his way out, and we need to have a good left back cover. That's my opinion.
Yeah, interesting, because like obviously if he does go, we would need cover. But then again, Yashin Ozkan has just came in, and he is a left back by trade. Everybody thinks he's going to be a left centre half, or maybe left centre half in the back three, and that's something that's probably open for conversation the more that we see him. But maybe there is something in that. I think maybe maybe he's the guy that we bring in now to maybe let Luca Dean leave mid-season or the season after, or whatever the case may be. So good stuff. Mark, what I'm going to do is thank you so much for being the first caller, first ever caller. Your trophy is in the post, Mark. Your trophy is in the post. So we'll definitely get you that. So what we'll do is I'm gonna, if you don't mind, Mark, I'm gonna thank you and say that out to you, and we're gonna see if we can get other people on, because one swallow does not a summer make.
Indeed. Catch up soon, buddy.
Cheers, Woody.
All the best. Bye bye. Now, so first things first, thanks very much, everybody, for bearing with us there. We were only, 27 minutes into the podcast before we got this to work. This one, for anyone who's looking to listen to this, we're back on audio tomorrow. It ain't probably going up on audio tomorrow. So it
might go up after 27 minutes.
Yeah, felt cute, might delete later kind of a thing here. So the lines are open again. Let me just change my banner here. So the lines are now open again. And what we want to do is we want to talk to people, I suppose, really about, so I think everybody's going to have the same kind of positions, but in the striking areas, what type of striker you guys would like. So if somebody wants to come on and chat to us about that, please, and you're over the age of 18, please give us a shout now, and we will see does this one work. So just as people are waiting to call through there, or we're waiting for people to call through there, Paddy, as well. Villa came or announced today that they have a new crypto sponsor. Oh my God, it's just after flying off the top of my head. Zap Pro, I think, or whatever it's called. Where do you stand in that stuff? Like, I know revenue is revenue, but I suppose is the fact that they have a crypto sponsor, if you have any crypto going to... Oh, we've got somebody ringing through. Hold that thought.
977.
Here we go. Let's see. Does the next person come? Hello there. Who am I speaking to? And are you over the age of 18?
Hello, James Wooden. Yes, I am over the age of 18.
James, great to have you. Absolutely, James. You're stalwart. Absolute stalwart in the chat there. So brilliant to have you. First of all, guys, can you hear James on the other end to make sure that the gremlins are gone and the teething problems are over? Just to make sure. I'm going to wait for the comments to catch up here first. Paddy, you can hear James, can you?
I can hear James, yeah.
The Gigs Charmer can hear it. James, take it away. What kind of striker would you want? Or what kind of attack? I suppose, talk to me about the attacking areas. How many players would you like to see in there, and what types of players would you like to see?
Well, I wouldn't let Ollie Watkins go this season. I'd wait till next season. I really want to see him hit 20 goals for the Villa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
the big cheerleader for Ollie Watkins. I would love to see that. I think it would be unfinished business if he was to leave the club without doing that, and he may very well end up doing that. What type? Like, obviously, we're going to need to have a secondary striker in there. What type of secondary striker do you think we should go for? Do we need a kind of a change of pace player, or do we need a like for like player? I know that a lot of people would have, have their opinions on that. What's your opinion on it?
I don't know who's out there because they'll be playing second figure, won't they? So it's especially with PSR. Who do you want to bring in to sit on the bench? Is it better giving this young lad that's just come from a chance, and he might turn out to be the next Duran? You don't know, do you? So.
That's true. Yeah, and you know what? That's actually a good point. I keep on forgetting we signed Zeppi Redmond. I'm going to call him Zeppi because I can never remember exactly how to pronounce his surname. Zeppiquino Redmond. Zeppiquinino? I don't know how to pronounce it. We call him Zeppi Redmond. Obviously looked a handful in the under 21s or under 19s.
Under 19s.
Under 19s, yeah. Do you think he's going to get a shot this year? Or do you think it's something that they will have to wait? Is he one for the future?
I would like to see him give him a go in pre-season, like all the young lads, give them a chance. And I think if they're shown the door or loaned out, where most of them stand, they're not ready, or Unai doesn't think they're quite good enough for what we need at the minute. So, as the lad before, in Unai I trust.
Yeah. And where would you find Bladnader makes a great point. Where do people feel I suppose sit on this like about a tall striker? I won't say I've got my concerns about a tall striker, but for me, I suppose for me to define when I talk about tall strikers, I'm talking like 6'5", 6'6" strikers. And outside of Peter Crouch, I'm just not. I struggle to think of good strikers over the height of maybe 6'2", 6'3". Now they are there. Like, don't get me wrong, but more often than not, when you a striker has to have everything about him in the Premier League. But how do you feel about an extra tall striker? And the reason I ask that is because Tierno Barry is a very good striker. He's a very good young striker playing for Villarreal. He looks like he's going to Everton. Those type of strikers, do you think they work in a Unai system, James?
I can't say why not. Funny you say that, because the young lad up front for Germany at the weekend, he was a tall lad, and he looked quite useful. So, can't say, it's nice to have somebody a bit different to Ollie, so change the game up. So
absolutely. And you know what? That's another reason Germany are churning out 6'3", 6'4" strikers at the moment between Viper, between Watamende, another guy whose name I can't pronounce. There's also another 2 or 3 players that they have come up from under 19s that are big, strong boys as well. I'm beginning to think that over the next 3 or 4 years, we're going to see that the number 9, the old school number 9, hasn't been a thing really outside the likes of Haaland, outside of the likes of Lewandowski. But I think they're coming back into fashion again, James. I really, really do.
Sorry, what do you and Paddy think to Bailey? Do you think was that his last season? Is he off?
That's yours, Paddy. Take it away.
Yeah, I believe that's him over and out. I think they tried to get him out before the end of June, but it just didn't work out. Maybe the right money wasn't offered. I don't know. I do believe he's on his way out. He didn't have a repeat of the good season he had 2 years ago. If we were going to get that again, I'd be more than happy to keep him. But it's a difficult one. There's money there to be made on him, and it's money we could do with bringing in. Just going back to your big striker, it's very difficult. If we're going to hang on to Ollie Watkins, it's very difficult to bring in a big striker who has ambitions of being at the top of his game and playing Premier League football week in, week out, when he's got to sit behind Ollie Watkins, because there's just a dearth of that talent that's going to play second fiddle, and I think we should be utilising what we have. Obviously, we've got Daniel Mallon in there, which hasn't been mentioned, who can offer that something a little bit different, and who knows, maybe can be moulded into an Ollie Watkins type character. So let's see what Unai Emery does with the pre-season, who he brings in. If it's a big striker, I would find it difficult for them to play week in, week out. Maybe in the games where we play the bottom 6-8 teams in the Premier League when they're parking the bus, that's the time to bring them on with 30 minutes to go when we need to break them down. Or maybe it's just a case that we put Andre or Amadou Onana in the box and lump the ball into him instead. We've got big enough players there to change it up in that role. But I think this season is one for Daniel Mallon to lay down his marker and perhaps put a stamp on his passport to European competition. We've seen flashes of what he can do, and I think we've got to trust him.
James, a big thank you from Michael Huggins here as well. He says a huge thanks for your fundraising at the Villa Foundation as well. So, and from us as well, thanks a million for that.
Absolutely, James. Lovely man. And then my chat gig. Pleasure to meet you, James, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Excellent, James.
And you, Paddy. Great.
Thanks so much for calling in, James. Really appreciate it. It's great to put a voice and stuff to the chat to pop into the in every single week. So thanks a million for calling, and thanks a million for always watching the podcast as well.
Thank you, lads.
You're a gentleman. Thanks. Just a quick one, guys, as well. People are calling through on the normal phone on the normal phone app. We want to keep it in WhatsApp only. So if you could just call it, like WhatsApp is the application for those who were a bit later joining us there. Let me just pop up I suppose how you can get in contact with us. We're going to take 2 more calls because we did a bit of messing at the start to try and make sure that this was working. So download WhatsApp, that application as well. We will over time accept from other applications. It's just as we're getting through the teething problems at the moment, and the fact that with this, it's an awful lot easier for me to take the calls in while I'm running the podcast as well, and I want to get used to that too. So over time, then we will take them from the actual phone app. That way, I can hold people and so on like that, and I can bring people in also. For at the moment, we're only using one line, just as we get used to it at the moment. So we will be ramping this up as well. So if you want to get involved, download WhatsApp, save the number +353 89 217 7440, and calls can be made free of charge over Wi-Fi from anywhere in the world. With that, James has now vacated the line, and the line is free. If
I wonder will we get a voice that's not a Brummie this time? Who's it going to be?
Dearmid from the Longford Lines was trying to call in a couple of times there as well, and the reason I know is because
Dearmid Longford Lines.
He's calling in now. This will definitely be a voice that isn't from the Longford Lines. Dearmid, how are you doing? I'm going to pop you through and bring you up now. How are we doing, Dearmid? Can you hear us loud and clear? I think I heard something there anyway, Dearmid. Can you hear us?
I can indeed, gents.
Excellent.
Congrats.
Congrats on what?
How was all?
Come here.
How are you doing, buddy?
You're not getting away with just calling in to say congrats, Dearmid. Talk to us about the topic at hand there. How many signings do you think Villa will have over the course of this off-season?
Oh, God, you have me. I mean, look, I suppose over the last 2 weeks, I've seen that many names pop up. I nearly took off social media because I didn't know what was going to happen. And I suppose we were so lucky to do our business in the last 2 days with all that money for the ladies' football. So, yeah, look, I'm just worried about Ollie and Martinez at the minute. They're my 2 concerns. And United is another big bloody concern. But I'd love to see Asensio staying. I think he's a lot to offer. I'd love the club as well to give Mallon a shot. I think he's a huge amount to give us as well over next season, especially in the Europa League.
Yeah, I can't disagree with any of that. I will be honest. I was trying to look and see. I was going down through where's my big crowd? Because I want to give you a crowd around. My soundboard, messing with all that stuff as well. You know what? I can't disagree with anything that you've said there. I think like we overlooked sometimes, and that's why I was very pointed in my question as well. If no one leaves the squad as it is, what do we add? Because the likes of Marlon are there. I even forgot about Zeppy Redmond that's been brought in as well. And I myself,
huge.
I myself would have thought there was 6 players needed. But the more I begin to sit back and go, maybe there isn't. Maybe there's a backup goalkeeper, there's a right back, and maybe another striker needs to be brought in.
Yeah. Well, see, we have Redmond now, isn't he? Kind of an attacking. So maybe he can hold that spot as well on the left-hand side. Do we need another defender? Bogard? He was huge last year. We keep on forgetting about him. He slotted in when we were down with no players and did exceptionally well.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken,
it's going to be an interesting season.
If I'm not mistaken, did we not play? And I could very well be mistaken in this with Boubacar Kamara and Lamar Bogard in the back line before. I know it might have only been like for 10, 15 minutes, but that's where we were last year with defence, and we're unlikely to be that depleted again. But it's very much a possibility, I suppose, with the amount of games that we play.
Yeah, and then we still look at our youth from all the games and all the trophies that won. I'm predicting, I don't know, I'll put that one out to you, Paddy. Who do you think will come out of that youth team and try to break into the seniors this season?
I don't see anybody coming through this season. I think it's just a little bit too soon, but there are a number of players, and we discussed this previously, Neil. Aidan Borland is the one that I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does with his career. I'm a big believer that we need local guys and homegrown guys in the squad to keep everybody else around them grounded and focused on the matter that's in hand, the fans that are on the sideline, not just our Irish voices, our Brummie voices, and we need Brummie voices. We need British voices in the team. I hope a load of them do come true. Luck will tell, our history will tell us that it will only be one or two. The goalkeeper has a chance. His name escapes me. The centre half that come on, Neil.
Proctor, the goalkeeper.
Proctor. Do you remember the centre half that come on in both the big games?
Yeah.
Thought he was absolutely excellent. I can't think of his name. It just escapes me at the moment.
Bloomfield, is it?
Bloomfield. That's the one. Cole Brannigan as well. I'm hoping that all these names will be household names for Villa fans in years to come. We looked at the likes of Akos and Odie and those back in 2020 that just never really made it through, and we're still looking today. Kane, Kessler, Hayden, Louis Barry going out the door potentially. So that's sad in my opinion, and I'm in one way I'm glad that we sold part of the women's team and didn't put the PSR down to players, because I think that's totally wrong and it's not sustainable. So you're taking the sustainability out of the PSR. So I hope these guys do come through. There's plenty of them there. There's a good brains trust in the youth setup. There's so many really, really good coaches. We've seen Jimmy Shan has been elevated as well, hasn't he, into the under 23s. So he will bring those players along with him and make them stronger. I know the days are gone of Christian Porslow saying the 23s didn't really matter, and if they hadn't made it by the time they were hitting the 23s, they wouldn't be considered. There's very few young players coming out of under 21s or under 18s and really hitting it at the top level. So we've got to be patient, we got to nurture, and we got to train these guys to hopefully take over one day.
Excellent. Yeah, I agree with everything the two of you guys said. Dearmid, thanks a million for calling in and for making sure that this thing works.
Absolutely,
really appreciate it. You're a gentleman.
And lads,
cheers, Dearmid.
Lads, love the podcast.
Thanks.
Love you too, brother.
Good man, Dearmid.
Take care, buddy.
You too.
Bye.
You too.
See you, lad.
Good luck.
Brilliant stuff. So we've got three. We've got someone ringing through again. Here we go. I'm going to answer this. This person has been trying to get on for ages, so I'm going to pop them up. Hello, caller. Are you over the age of 18? And welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath Villa Event Phone-In Show.
How are you, Neil?
I'm very good, but I might get you to turn us down in the background because I can hear myself back, I think, on
I've
whatever
turned
you're
it off
watching.
now, mate. You're all right.
Excellent stuff. How are we doing? Who
No,
have we?
I'm only 52 years over that age anyway. So
That's all good. That's all good. It's all some legalities we've to ask about if you're over the age of 18. Who am I speaking to, by the way?
you're speaking to Kev,
Kev. Great to speak to you, Kev.
and I had the pleasure of having a photo with your compadre there at the Fulham game when we were standing in the queue.
I remember meeting you, Kev, beside the burger bar, wasn't it?
Absolutely, mate. I had a pint in my hand, and it was a pleasure to meet you, my friend.
You too, pal.
Excellent.
Thanks very much for getting involved as well.
And
No
Kev,
problem at all.
Kev,
Go on, mate.
what's your views on I suppose on the squad setup as we are? Obviously, we know there are players that are going to leave, but in a situation whereby Unai Emery gets his way, and he said at the end of the season he just wanted, he said he'd gladly come back with nobody leaving. If that was the case, how many incomings do you think this team needs as it is at the moment?
I don't want to go over trodden ground, but I tend to agree with Paddy over the striker position, because at the end of the day, we saw Watkins had a dip in form with Danny Ings. We certainly saw him have a dip in form with Duran, and we certainly saw him have a dip in form with Mr. Rashford. So I think Marlon should be stepping up to the plate, and with this guy you can't pronounce, Redmond. I think possibly we have enough, but my biggest concern is this bloody stuff coming back from Old Trafford about one in Ollie.
Yeah, and are you very worried about that? Personally, I'm not too worried about it. I think a lot of it is. Look, Alex Crooks, obviously, I can't look. He is a journalist. He is somebody that does get bits and pieces of information, but a lot of it, I think, seems to be amplified by online accounts. Are you very worried about it? I just don't see where Ollie fits in there, but I could be wrong.
Well, no, I'm not. But I don't want to preach to the converted. But a certain London club came in from in January as well, and I still think if they don't get their first target across the line, I think damn well they could come in with an offer.
Yeah, I think Arsenal need to buy a striker so much that if they don't get their number one target, whoever that is, whether it's Skyarkis or whether it's Sesko, if they don't get their number one target, I think their fans will really turn their nose up at Ollie Watkins. Do you think that, Paddy? Is that me just being in this idyllic world that I live in with regards to Oliver, George, Arthur, Watkins?
I honestly don't know what the fans think, and neither do I care. They're the weirdest bunch of Premier League fans you can come across, and I wouldn't second guess what their reaction would be. I personally think they'd be happy enough, and I think any team in the Premier League would be happy enough to have him. But as Tombo Jones says in the comments there, if somebody offers 60 plus for a player of his age, we're not turning that down. We're not in a position to turn that down. So if it is the end, it's going to take a big lump of cash in order to get it over the line for one of them. And I'm all for taking that big lump of cash if it comes. If his heart's not in it, and I don't mean that in the Man United way. I think in the Arsenal way. If Arsenal come again, this will be the last time they come knocking for Ollie Watkins. And I think that would be very hard for him, coming from a family of Gooners, to turn down. Would it be a good move for him? I don't believe so. I think he's better off where he is. But yeah, the money will be too hard to turn down. But I do not want to sell him.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Look, as I say, even I am an ardent, as I said, Ollie Watkins fan. But look, you have to kind of have your head rule your heart at times. 60 million is a big number. It is a big number. It would be our third biggest ever sale, and it would be interesting to see what happens there. But as of yet, that hasn't come true. And I do think there are only certain clubs that would that bid would be entertained with. Specifically, I think we would only let go after we sign another striker. So I would imagine that we would spend that money before we actually take it in for Ollie Watkins. Kev, Great to have you on the show
Yeah.
tonight. Absolutely brilliant to have
just
you on.
one
This
thing
is
before I go.
yeah. Go
Neil,
for it.
just one thing before I go. When I put the odd, I don't put too many messages on your podcast, but when I do, you always keep asking me, what are all those blooming letters for? What's the acronym for? I'm KTF FTF, and it's to keep
Excellent.
the faith, fly the flag.
Brilliant. Excellent. And this,
Okay, mate.
this is the beauty of it, because like to get to put voices to the names for people who've been jumping in and out for the last 6 years, because one of the great things is like there's people who are here and the very first time when I came in with my shaky voice and not knowing was anybody actually listening to the podcast, there are people who watch it, and I'm so appreciative of that.
Hey,
Dave,
listen,
so
I
thanks a million.
love the Irish voice, mate, because I'm married into a family of Irish people, and they're absolutely great, mate.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. We try our best. We try our best. Kev,
Oh,
thank
man,
you very
Kev.
much. Up the
Up
villain.
the-
Up the
Excellent. That's pretty. I'm so delighted this has worked. Like this is actually nourishing for the soul to hear everybody's voices. And put voices to it. I'll be honest with you. I was so dejected and I was bricking it for the first 20 minutes, going, "Oh my God!" With all the fanfare for this and everything, you know, it didn't look like it was working, but thankfully we've managed to pull the correct levers here as well. We're going to take one more call. If somebody wants to call through, we're going to take one more call before we wrap this one up. And as I said, this is something, this type of situation, I suppose, this type of podcast, we probably won't be doing them every week. We'll do them as and when they're probably called for with big topics and stuff like that. We'll definitely do them once a month. But you know, as I say, it's not going to be a case of every Friday there will be a phone in. For the time being, because as you can see, I'm under pressure. I'm under pressure to get everything working here. So I'm going to sleep. I might wake up in the morning after this.
The bizarre thing is, it was me that was having the palpitations all day about who might ring into this bloody show.
Yeah.
And you're the one that's under pressure. So
Exactly.
I'm quietly enjoying this carnage that's going on around you, Neil.
Brilliant. I gladly take the carnage. Let me change the banner actually there, because the lines are open. If somebody wants to give the number a call, it is, if you're watching on Friday night phone in 6 to 8 p.m.
+44
Here we go. Let me just bring you up onto the call. Hello there, caller.
It is, if you're watching
Turn on. You're going to get you to turn off the podcast in the background. Are you over 18 and are you here to talk about Aston Villa, caller? I don't think they can hear me now.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. Are you over 18 and who am I speaking to?
I'm about 12.
You're about 12, yeah.
No, I'm over 18.
Excellent stuff. And who do we have the pleasure of talking to today?
It's Gareth.
Excellent, Gareth. Good to hear from you. You said you might be calling in, all right. I think if this is who I think it is. Talk to me about the topic at hand. Where do you stand and how many players we would need to pad out this Aston Villa team?
About 3, I think, because we've got cover only if Martinez stays. If Martinez stays, 3.
3. And where do you think we would look for those?
A right back, right wing, and then someone to cover Morgan Rogers in the middle type, number 10.
Okay. So you're very much saying that Malin is now going to be your striker / replacement striker for Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
That's where you're, and I think that's probably that's I think more I think about that's going to be the option for the coming season. Yeah, I think that's right. What type of right back? You mentioned about right backs there. What type of right back? I asked one of the callers previously. Same question.
Well, you need someone with speed, and they can, because we're all in the middle. You know what I mean? Someone that goes out onto the wing type winger /
mid. It's you know what I mean. They can cross the ball fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're looking for more like the Garcia type right back as opposed to the Ezri Konsa type right back.
Yeah, but you can play because we're gonna. Unai Emery always plays legs of Cons or someone on right back. Someone with width. We need someone with width.
Yeah.
The brain play. You know what I mean? Because we've got plenty of width on the left hand side, so we have the. You know what I mean? We'll try to balance it out.
Yeah. And so, are you then? You mentioned about right wing as well, Gareth. Are you looking for a speedster in that right wing as well, more like a direct Bailey replacement? Or are you kind of thinking something along the lines of someone more utilitarian?
Yeah, but like a Bailey replacement, so we can have options. You know what I mean? We don't have to rely.
Yeah. So, like,
rely going up or left, or you know what I mean? You can if we want to stretch the back four, if we want to, no way everybody ends up putting in that two big banks of four, and then we find it hard breaking it down. We could get the ball over to both sides and try to make something happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, look, I suppose who we've been linked with so far, if you're to believe those, like Jesus Rodriguez, Pichau, those guys that we've been linked with, Bakayoko, if that link is, if there was massive truth in that link as well, they're all kind of out and out wingers as well. That would be the type that I think would get. What was it Doug Ellis said about David Ginla? Get your bums off your seat. Get bums off seat. Back
yeah,
in the day, even though he was
that's what you need. Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah. Someone the likes of a Tony Daly flying down there. Exactly. If we could bring him back, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be great. It would be excellent. Gareth, thanks a million for calling in. Really, really appreciate it. I think we've got a nice feel for how the system is going to work, and it's because of the likes of yourself and Mark and James and Kev that have called in here that I now have trust in the system that I didn't have 40 minutes ago when I was floundering around here trying to figure it out. But thanks a million, Gareth, for coming on. And I know not a lot of people.
Thanks a million for the 2 years, but just because the podcast is brilliant. Listen every week.
Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Listen, have a good night, Gareth. And as I say, we'd be delighted to talk to you again in the future.
Same to you. Thanks a lot.
Mind yourself. Bye-bye. Well, I think that's going to be it for. We're going to call it a night for that. It's been an hour. It's been an interesting hour. But look, this has been great. I think all in all, this is going down as a positive for me. So unfortunately, the lines are closed at the moment. But we will be doing this again. This is definitely going to be something that we'll be bringing into the repertoire. And I know I said that we're not going to be doing it every week, but you know me. I also said I was taking a 4-week break from podcasts and I was back 3 days later. If you believe anything I say, that's your fault, not mine. So we'll see as and when it dictates that we need a phone in, because I've enjoyed this. It's been nice and wholesome and everybody has played their part in it, even the guys in the chat there. And thank you to everybody in the chat as well for letting us know what was working and wasn't, because everything is crystal clear and pristine in my ears at the moment. So I really do need you guys to bounce things off in future from that point of view. That's the gremlins of live recording, or whatever you want to call it, for sure. So thanks a million to our callers. Thanks a million to Mark, to James, to Kev, to Dearmid, to and to Gareth there as well. Really, really good mix of calls, good mix of conversation there, and we will open the topics up more and more as we because we've get used to interviewing people that we don't know what they're going to say as well. So that's all part of it as well. And so
and
thanks.
Neil,
yes,
on behalf of everybody in the comments, thank you to you for persevering and getting it right. And the next time you say we're going to do this, I'll drop you up a couple of my blood pressure tablets, and you'll be all okay. But it's something different. It has the potential to grow into something really good when things happen all of a sudden, especially when I'm not available to get on, you can get people on to talk, or vice versa. I obviously can't play with your toys in your office there, but where possible, we'll all get on and do it, and we'll because this has been really refreshing, and I think by the comments in the comments there, it seems to be the same for everyone else. So great to hear the voices, great to hear the lads in there, and thank you, Neil, on behalf of everyone else. And we will make this work, and I'm sure it will be a regular occurrence, because who knows, maybe we'll do an after match phone in and discuss in the future. I think that could really, really work. Now that we're the first to do it, nobody's going to follow. We're going to do this right.
Well, I tell you, yeah. So look, as I said, the more confident we get in this, the more we will have them on as well. And this is run well, and not going to touch anything over here for the next for the foreseeable future. Not even going to turn it off, just to make sure that I don't have to go through that again. So after match phone-ins, people are talking about there as well. Yeah, definitely for big wins anyway. When we beat United in the third round of the FA Cup, I might open it up for those ones for sure. But a 4-0 drubbing at the hands of Burnley on a Tuesday night, I don't know. I think the slander laws and the libel laws here in Ireland might be tested if that is the case. That's from us, never mind from ye. That's from us. I'm only joking, obviously. I'm only joking. We will look. Thanks a million to everybody for coming on. Thanks a million to everybody in the comments. But I will be back tomorrow with. It was supposed to be today. I was supposed to have that interesting conversation with a former Villa player, Villa Irish player. But that is now happening tomorrow. It won't be live. The conversation will not be live, but we will put it out later on in the day tomorrow. Because I'm doing it in an ungodly hour in the morning before they go training themselves. So so keep an eye out for that. It's kind of a sporadic series that I'm looking to do as around Irish players that have gone over to Aston Villa, what their thoughts were about Aston Villa, what it was like being scouted in Ireland through the decades. So just hopefully if I get this together and if I line all these people up in sporadic motion, we'll get a good cross section of what it's like to go over and play in the UK from Ireland and see how their careers go. But anyway, thanks a million, everyone. And a phone in after the league, says James Wood. Up the Villa, absolutely, we'll definitely do that. But thanks so much, everybody, for your time. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.